What if I told you that success isn't something you chase? It's something you attract. What if the secret to becoming unstoppable wasn't about running after money, fame, or recognition, but about quietly, patiently, and relentlessly building yourself every single day? Until success has no choice but to come knocking. The Stoics knew this truth long before modern self-help existed. You do not rise to success, you grow into it. And tonight, I'll show you how to focus on your growth so deeply that the life you dream of becomes inevitable. But before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay with me until the end, because the wisdom we're about to uncover might just shift the way you live every single day of your life. We live in a world obsessed with outcomes. People chase quick money, fast recognition, shortcuts to success. But here's the Stoic reality. Outcomes are outside your control. What others think of you, how fast success arrives, whether the world notices your efforts. Those are externals. And if you anchor your happiness to externals, you'll forever be fragile, restless, and unsatisfied. The Stoics flipped the script. They focused not on what could be taken away, but on what could be built from within. Discipline, character, knowledge, strength, resilience. Success was never their aim. Growth was. And ironically, when you dedicate yourself to daily growth, when you become unshakable in who you are, success has no choice. It comes naturally, like a shadow that follows you when you walk into the sun. Lesson 1. Build discipline as your foundation. If you strip away all the noise, all the motivational speeches, all the quick hacks, one truth remains. Without discipline, nothing lasts. You can have the best ideas, the highest ambitions, the strongest desires, but if you cannot master yourself, everything crumbles. The Stoics understood this with absolute clarity. Marcus Aurelius, who had the weight of an empire on his shoulders, wrote to himself each morning, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I must go to work as a human being." Even the most powerful man in the world fought laziness, but he didn't let it win. That is discipline. Choosing action over comfort, duty over distraction, growth over excuses. Discipline is not glamorous. It is not dramatic. It is often boring, repetitive, and invisible. It looks like waking up on time, training your body when no one is watching, saying no to the little temptations that want to steal your future. And that's why most people never build it. They mistake comfort for happiness. But here's the Stoic secret. Comfort is the slow poison that kills potential. Growth, on the other hand, is the medicine that strengthens you. And discipline is the hand that gives you that medicine every day. Think of discipline as the root system of a great tree. You don't see the roots, but without them, the tree falls at the first storm. The branches, the visible signs of success, wealth, recognition, are fragile. But the roots, the daily habits, the refusal to break under distraction, the ability to do what must be done, that's what keeps you standing. A disciplined man may not always shine in the short term, but in the long term, he is unstoppable. Each time you resist the easy path, you are not just denying pleasure. You are casting a vote for your future self. Every skipped workout, every broken promise, every wasted hour is a theft from your future. But every act of discipline, no matter how small, compounds. The Stoics would say that character is destiny, and discipline is how you shape that character. So tonight, as you think about growth, ask yourself, am I disciplined? Do I govern myself? Or do I let urges, moods, and excuses govern me? Because if you cannot rule yourself, the world will rule you. Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of freedom. It gives you control over your time, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. Without it, you will drift. With it, success has no choice but to eventually bow to you. Lesson 2. Embrace the power of patience. In a world addicted to speed, patience feels like weakness. We live in a culture where everyone wants results today, recognition instantly, rewards without waiting. But the Stoics understood that patience is not weakness, it is power. Epictetus, once a slave who rose to become one of the greatest philosophers, taught that you must endure and wait for the right season, just as a farmer waits for his harvest. Growth does not happen on demand. It happens in its own time, and only the patient will see its rewards. Most people give up because they cannot tolerate delay. They work for weeks, maybe months, and when results don't come, they quit. But patience is what separates the average from the great. Think of an olive tree. It takes years before it bears fruit, but once it does, it produces for centuries. The impatient man digs up his tree too early, wondering why it didn't grow, while the patient man waters it daily, trusting that growth is happening invisibly beneath the soil. Patience is not passive. It doesn't mean you sit and wait for life to hand you things. No, it means you keep working, keep improving, keep planting seeds, even when you don't see immediate results. The Stoics would tell you, your job is to focus on the effort, not the outcome. You cannot control the timing of success, but you can control your persistence. And persistence, fueled by patience, is what eventually forces success to arrive. When you lie in bed at night, reflect on this truth. Impatience is a form of weakness. It's the refusal to endure discomfort. It's the inability to trust the process. But if you can learn to wait, to endure, to keep building yourself brick by brick, you will become unshakable. Because while others are quitting, distracted by the speed of others' progress, you will still be here, steady, unbroken, focused on growth. The Stoics endured wars, exile, betrayal, and hardship, but they never rushed life. They trusted that every struggle was shaping them. Every season was necessary. Seneca wrote, "It is not that life is short, but that we waste much of it. Impatience wastes life, but patience multiplies it." When you choose patience, you are choosing peace. You are choosing endurance, and you are choosing to let success come at its natural time, knowing that your daily growth has already guaranteed it. Lesson 3. Turn obstacles into training grounds. If there is one Stoic principle that can completely transform how you view life, it is this. Obstacles are not barriers, they are training grounds. Marcus Aurelius captured this with immortal words. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Most people curse obstacles, wishing for smooth paths and easy victories. But smooth paths build nothing. It is the resistance, the challenge, the friction that forges strength. Just as a sword is sharpened against stone, the human spirit is sharpened against adversity. Think back to your greatest struggles. At the time, they felt unbearable. You may have thought you were cursed unlucky, singled out for hardship. But look again. Didn't those very struggles teach you resilience? Didn't they shape your character, strip away illusions, and reveal your true strength? The Stoics would argue that without obstacles, there is no growth. Comfort makes you soft. Hardship makes you unbreakable. When you face obstacles, you have two choices. You can see them as punishments and shrink, or you can see them as teachers and grow. The difference is perspective. The Stoics trained themselves to ask, not why me, but how can this strengthen me? Failure becomes feedback. Rejection becomes redirection. Pain becomes training. Every obstacle hides an opportunity, but only those with the right mindset see it. Consider Epictetus. Born a slave, beaten, and humiliated, he could have let bitterness consume him. Instead, he used hardship as a classroom, turning chains into wisdom. His teachings went on to influence emperors and generations. Or Marcus Aurelius, ruling during wars and plagues. He could have collapsed under pressure, but instead, he wrote meditations that still guide millions. Their obstacles became their greatness. Each time you meet resistance, remember, this is training. Life is not testing you to destroy you. It is training you to become the person success cannot ignore. Obstacles are not detours from the path. They are the path. When you adopt this mindset, you stop resenting struggle and start embracing it. Every challenge becomes fuel. Every setback a stepping stone. So, tonight, remind yourself, growth does not happen in comfort. It happens in conflict. It happens in the fire. Success does not come to those who avoid obstacles, but to those who transform them. And when you've trained long enough, when you've turned enough obstacles into opportunities, success has no choice. It must bow to your strength. Lesson 4. Embrace pain as a teacher. Most people spend their lives avoiding pain, treating it as something to run from, numb, or bury under distractions. But the Stoics flipped this idea on its head. Pain, they said, is not your enemy. It's your most honest teacher. Every time you feel discomfort, whether physical, emotional, or mental, it's showing you exactly where your weaknesses lie. Imagine lifting weights. Without resistance, your muscles never grow. In the same way, without challenges and setbacks, your mind and character remain soft, fragile, untested. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that obstacles were fuel, not roadblocks. The more he endured, the stronger his mind became. Pain is a mirror, reflecting your areas of growth. Instead of asking, "Why me?" when life hits you hard, flip the question to, "What is this teaching me?" That shift alone transforms suffering into strength. Think about your toughest moments: heartbreak, financial struggle, betrayal. Didn't those times carve out resilience in you that comfort never could? If you learn to stop labeling pain as bad and start viewing it as training, success will have no choice but to bow to your persistence. Growth requires sacrifice, and sacrifice is painful. But the man who embraces pain with discipline transforms it into power. Lesson 5. Build discipline over motivation. Motivation is fragile. It comes and goes like a passing breeze. One day you wake up ready to conquer the world, and the next, you don't even want to leave your bed. If you rely only on motivation, you'll be inconsistent, and inconsistency destroys progress. The Stoics knew this well. They built their lives not on fleeting bursts of energy, but on unwavering discipline. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Discipline is freedom, because it means you are no longer a slave to moods, laziness, or excuses. Building discipline starts small. Waking up at the same time, sticking to your word, finishing tasks even when you don't feel like it. Over time, these habits build a foundation so strong that success becomes inevitable. Discipline means showing up regardless of how you feel. It means writing when you're uninspired, exercising when you're tired, working when you'd rather scroll through distractions. The truth is, motivation is for amateurs. Discipline is for those who want to build an unshakable life. And when you embody discipline daily, success cannot ignore you. It will be drawn to the consistency of your actions like metal to a magnet. Lesson 6. Focus on what you can control. Life is filled with chaos, unfairness, and randomness. People betray you. The economy shifts. Opportunities vanish. If you waste energy worrying about what you can't control, you'll live in constant frustration. This is where the Stoics gave humanity one of the most powerful tools: the dichotomy of control. Epictetus taught that there are things within our control: our thoughts, actions, choices, and things beyond it: external events, other people, outcomes. The secret to peace is focusing only on what lies within your control. Think about it. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you sail your ship. You can't control others' opinions, but you can control how you respond. You can't control outcomes, but you can always control effort. The man who masters this truth becomes unstoppable, because his energy is never wasted. Instead of whining about circumstances, he adapts, adjusts, and acts. This doesn't mean you're passive. It means you fight battles that matter and stop draining yourself on things you'll never influence. Success is born not from trying to control the world, but from mastering yourself. Once you learn this, failure can't break you, and obstacles become fuel for growth. Lesson 7. Practice daily reflection. The Stoics were warriors of the mind, and one of their sharpest weapons was reflection. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man of his time, ended his nights journaling, questioning his choices, analyzing his thoughts, and sharpening his principles. Reflection is how you measure growth. Without it, you move blindly, repeating the same mistakes, stuck in cycles. Each night, ask yourself, did I live with discipline today? Did I focus on what I can control? Did I treat others with fairness and myself with respect? Reflection turns life into a daily training ground. It forces honesty, because you can't lie to yourself on paper. Reflection also reveals progress. Maybe you used to explode at small frustrations, but now you pause before reacting. Maybe you used to waste hours, but now you catch yourself and refocus. These small wins add up, and reflection ensures you never lose sight of them. Think of it like sharpening a sword. Every night you polish, strengthen, and prepare your mind for battle tomorrow. Success doesn't come from one big leap. It comes from the accumulation of daily progress. Reflection is how you lock in those lessons and guarantee growth that compounds with time.